Hello, everybody, and welcome to ScholarTALKS. My name is Mrs. Laura Houston, and we are here at the beautiful Sunkist Elementary School in the Anaheim Elementary School District. So some of you may be asking, what is a Scholar Talk? Well, it's a talk given by a scholar. And a scholar is somebody who reads and studies and is responsible and works really hard in school. Now, the speeches that you are going to hear today, these students were chosen to represent their school site, and they were able to choose their topic. They were able to choose anything that they wanted to speak about. And as you're listening, I know some of you are in classrooms right now, and some of you are here in the audience. I ask you, if you were going to give a speech, what would you talk about? Very interesting to think about what's important to you. And the reason I really love Scholar Talks is because it gives our students a voice. It gives them the opportunity to share what's important to them. Sometimes grown-ups think that students are not interested in what's happening in the world, but oftentimes their voices are just not invited. And so that's why I like Scholar Talks, because we invite the students to share what's important to them. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first scholar. His name is Philip, and Philip is representing Orange Grove Elementary School, and he is a 6th grader. Let's welcome Philip, everybody.
Hello, my name is Philip. Hello, my name is Philip, as you may know. But something you may not know is something else. Now for a surprise. I only tell people this when it is causing me to be late or when people ask. It is that I have severe hemophilia type A. Now, most people won't know what severe hemophilia type A is. So basically, it is a condition where my body's blood can't clot on its own. When I was born as a baby with hemophilia. But my parents did not know at the time until I got my foot pricked and it wouldn't stop bleeding. That's when they rushed me to the hospital, and there I was officially diagnosed with hemophilia. Once I got hemophilia, I had to get injections to a thing I have in my chest called a portacath. A portacath is a little piece of rubber that a needle goes through that gives me a thing called factor VIII, which helps keep me alive. The needle has a hook end so it could stay in the portacath, opposed to having a straight end, which would have the needle to slip out, not be sterile, and it would be kind of painful. Once I got my first portacath, I was only a few weeks old, and it lasted me till I was 7. So that's 7 years I've had the same portacath. But it has changed places over time because it was failing. So I had to get a new one through surgery. Once I went into the hospital for my surgery, I was 7, and I got used to almost the whole hospital staff and doctors once I was there. I even met this one kid. He was awesome. He made my time there go by so much quicker. But all good things come to an end, and he left that hospital because he was getting better. It was sad to see him go, but to be honest, I was happy for him because he was getting better, and if he stood in that bed any longer, he would have been taking up room for somebody who would have been seriously hurt or could die. So I said my goodbyes, and he was in that hospital for 2 years. So it's nice to know that he got to leave after such a long time. Now, back onto my story. I was in that hospital for 1 year after my friend left, and it was so boring. It was long, and I wanted out, but there was no way I could get out, so I just decided I'll get out when I can. But I couldn't even sit up, let alone walk. So if I wanted to get out of that hospital, I had to learn how to walk again. And it didn't look like that was going to happen for another month or two. But I didn't want to wait. I wanted to leave so bad. So when the nurse came to check how I was feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, I mustered up all my courage and I said a 4. Then I said, "I feel fine, can I try walking?" That's when she said, "Yes, of course you can." It was a big risk, but I was willing to take that risk to get out of that hospital. So I was all prepped and ready to try standing. So once the time was ready, I tried sitting up, but I fell back in my bed. Everybody around my bed was kind of sad that I didn't get up, but I tried again. But this time it was different, because this time I actually got up. I was in shock, because I imagine not walking for maybe 7 months. That's around the time I couldn't walk. So it was amazing for me. It was one of my greatest accomplishments. When I got up, I was in shock. But then I seen a tube that was connected to my arm, and it was an IV. So I grabbed the pole gently, and I used it to help me actually stand up. And that was it. I was really walking. It was crazy. I didn't think I could walk, not at that time. Once I was walking, I had to hold on to the IV pole, and somebody had to hold me up so I wouldn't fall. The nurse said if I keep this up any longer, then I'll be out of that hospital in no time. That was the best news I've gotten since I went in that hospital. But when I got back to my bed, I threw up for almost no reason. I think it was because I got up too fast, but I can't say for sure. I can't really remember anything after that day, so however, I am healthy. Even though I have to give myself injections 3 times a week, I hope that I could continue to be healthy and become a successful music teacher. Thank you.
So Philip, thank you for educating me. Thank you for educating all of us about hemophilia. And now I have more empathy for people with hemophilia. So thank you. Awesome speech. Good job. Our next scholar is Ariana, and she is from Franklin Elementary School, and she's a 6th grader. Let's welcome Ariana.
My mother works hard every day at National Seating and Mobility. She has worked here for more than 5 years. Recently, she has gotten a promotion to co-manager. She deserves this. She fixes everyone's mistakes and comes home so tired because of what she had done that day. She is a very successful person and deserves what she has and more. Hi, I'm Ariana in the 6th grade and attend Benjamin Franklin Elementary School. Today, I will be talking about success. To achieve success, you'll need effort. I can't begin to tell you how much time, effort, and perseverance it will take you. To achieve success, you'll also need the right mind and right attitude. When you sit down and get to work, you need to leave all your problems at the door and focus on what you're doing. Success doesn't just stop at your doorstep and say, "Here I am." No, you need to work for it. What did you want me to tell you? Oh, success is so easy? I won't, because that's a lie. On your path to success, you'll encounter people. People will look at you once you succeed and be so mad at what they see. They will wonder how you're up on top, how your dreams came true, and how you are now as happy as ever. That will come up a lot, and when that happens, they'll start to say, oh, you got lucky. Anyone can do that. If anyone can do that, then how come they haven't succeeded yet? Now that's something to think about. The truth is, they're just jealous. That will happen a lot, and when that happens, you need to learn how to deal with it. A way you can deal with it is by ignoring them and focusing on you and your path toward success. Another way is by facing the problem head on and telling that person or people that it won't bother you and won't affect you. Finally, let's talk about failure. Most people think of failure as a bad thing, but in this case, I think that failure walks parallel toward success. When failure comes along, don't sulk in it, don't ignore it, and don't think of it as a bad thing. When people encounter failure, they tend to get sad, frustrated, or even give up. Instead, look at it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Now you are one step closer to success. During the American Revolution, Benjamin Franklin was a successful leader in the Second Continental Congress and helped draft the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Do you think that Benjamin Franklin would have accomplished all of this work by sitting down and letting the world pass by? No, he worked hard. Take this, for example. A test is coming up, but instead of studying, you sit around and watch TV. The next day, you take the test and hand it in to your teacher once you're finished. She grades it. Do you think the test will come back good? I don't think so. The point I'm trying to make is that if you sit around and do nothing towards your success, you won't accomplish it. In fact, you won't accomplish anything. After all, Ariana Huffington said this: failure is not the opposite of success, but part of it. Hi, I'm Ariana in the 6th grade and attend Benjamin Franklin Elementary School, and I will succeed. Thank you.
Ariana, with a growth mindset like that, I'm sure you will succeed. So great talk about success. Everything you said was so true. So our next speaker is representing Betsy Ross Elementary School. She is a 6th grader, and her name is Mukadas. Welcome.
Why is reading important? Why should we read? Hello everybody, my name is Mukadas, and today I'll be talking about the importance of reading. I've enjoyed reading since I was a little kid. I've read the Harry Potter series, the I Survived series, A to Z Mysteries, Percy Jackson, and a lot more that will take me forever to repeat. I got inspired to read because of a poem by Julie Donaldson. It starts with, I opened a book and in I strode. It talks about how when she opens a book, she feels like she disappeared from her house, her road, her town, and the world into the book. It talks about how she feels like there's a cloak covering her when she reads, and that she's fought with dragons and dined with kings in the books. It talks about how she feels like It talks about how she makes new friends and share their tears and laughter in their lives and their world. At the end, she wrote, I finished the book and out I came. The cloak can no longer hide me. My house and my chair are just the same, but I have a book inside me. This was my favorite poem and still is because it helped me understand what reading was like. Reading is also very important because a new study from 2019 shows that people who read have increased vocabulary. According to Ohio State University, young children whose parents read them 5 books a day enter kindergarten having heard about 1.4 million more words than kids who are never read to. Just think about knowing or having your kids know 1.4 million more words when you read to them than when you don't. Ohio State University also says they are likely to pick up reading skills more quickly and easily. Reading does way more than just increase your vocabulary. It helps you pick up skills like writing and spelling more rapidly. Imagine you are in a car or on a plane and you're going somewhere very far. What would you do to pass time? You probably said to use your phone, but then where would you get your internet from? Easy, a hotspot, or what would you do if you ran out of batteries? Another easy answer, a portable charger. But guess what? Reading doesn't need any of those, and you could read anywhere. I read in my bedroom, my cousin's house, at school, and in the car. When I have a good book, I never get bored. So I recommend everybody reads when they're anywhere and when they don't have anything to do. Now, as Julie Donaldson said, all of you, go get a book inside you. Wouldn't it be nice to dine with the king? Thank you.
Thank you, Mukavas. I agree, books can be life-changing. They really can be. So our next speaker is representing Loera Elementary School. She's a 6th grader, and let's welcome Isabella.
You're walking home from school. You hear growling behind you, but you can't see anything. You begin to panic. Your palms start to sweat, your breathing becomes faster, and maybe even your legs are shaking. Where is the noise coming from? You start to look around to see a small dog behind a fence. Suddenly, what you felt inside starts to die down. What happened? Hi, I'm Isabella, and you felt was something called fear. Fear is an emotion. What is an emotion? Emotions are electrochemical signals that move inside us in a never-ending circle. They're mostly mentally and physically states. How many emotions are there? Well, there are a lot of emotions. In the National Academy of Sciences, researchers discovered that there might be 27 emotions in different categories. Wow, that's a lot of emotions. The most popular emotions people know and feel are joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. Emotions are extremely hard to control. It's like riding a bull in Texas. You don't know how that bull will throw you off, but you have to keep on holding on even if you're slipping off. Control the bull when things get out of hands. Just take a deep breath and calm down. Emotions are neutral. Why is that? I'm saying this because some emotions are good and others bad. For example, joy and sadness. Joy is obviously the win over sadness, but joy and sadness have a lot of things in common that most people think. Joy means we get something we care about. Sadness means we lost something we care about. You see, we can't really live without them. And emotions are simply signals delivering a message to the brain. Even the emotions you don't like, such as anger, jealousy, or other, have an important role of our lives. Emotions can be contagious. Of course, not influenza or COVID contagious. I'm talking about feelings that spread a lot similar to a virus, and we may not even notice. If we were in a group of people and one of them was happy, we could catch their positive feelings, even the negative ones. This is because humans are social creatures. We survived in groups during the evolution. That is why we tend to pick up others' feelings. Think about it. If another person was angry because another person said something mean to them, you could read their face expression and walk away before that person says something mean to you as well. Are humans the only ones who can feel emotions? No. Animals can feel emotions too. They are living things just like humans. Example, when you leave your dog or cat at home and you're finally coming back from vacation. Imagine how your pet might feel when you finally come back. Joy, or maybe even surprise. Philosophers from ancient Greek and ancient Rome discovered that animals were not able to express emotions as humans do. Of course, it's changed. Animals' emotions have confused and intrigued humans for a very long time. Now, others are unraveling that animals' emotions are quite similar to humans' emotions. People who interact and hang out with animals daily see that dogs, cats, birds, rodents, and even fish experience regular emotions, such as happiness, sadness, anger, and fear, although jealousy and empathy are quite rare. Now you know more about emotions. Next time when you feel any kind of emotions, remember, emotions are hard to control. It's like riding a bull in Texas. But you, and only you, have the strength to control them. Control the bull. Thank you.
Such wisdom coming from a sixth grader. Yes, emotions are hard to control, and I loved your simile. Excellent use of figurative language. Good job. So our next speaker is from Westmont, and she's a sixth grader, and her name is Natalia. Let's welcome Natalia.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Hello, everybody. My name is Natalia, and today I'm here to talk to you about how I feel on racial injustice. I know that some of us may have different colored skin than others, but that gives us absolutely no right to judge or treat people with hate or discrimination. We are all the same and should all be treated with equality and respect. Now, I bet you that a whole lot of people may think that I'm white by looking at me, but no. Actually, I'm Mexican, Italian, and Native American. You see, people may be different on the outside, but really, we're exactly the same on the inside. Let's use an example that happened not too long ago. In 1880, segregation was brought to our world, leaving us with two sides, the white and the colored. There were 2 schools, 2 bathrooms, and even 2 drinking fountains. There were great people who stood up against these unjust laws, aside from just Martin Luther King, Jr. On December 5th, 1955, Rosa Parks started the Montgomery bus boycott against racial segregation. Seamstress Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man, leading to her arrest. Still to this very day, people are suffering from racial injustice. Let's use an example that had just recently happened. George Floyd, an African-American man, pinned to the ground by a white police officer. His knee on George Floyd's neck, after 8 minutes and 46 seconds of crying and yelling for his mother, he passed away. Now that is just one of the many terrible events that has happened over the years that people have been suffering from racial injustice. Another example was Jacob Blake, another African-American man, shot 7 times in the back in front of his 3 children by yet another white police officer. Our world has been broken for too long, and we need to fix it. Now, you may be wondering, how are you planning to fix this? Well, I am not the only one who can and will stand up for what is right. We can all make a difference. The smallest thing can make the biggest impact. For example, instead of staring or giving a dirty look when you see somebody with a different colored skin than you, smile. That may be one of the smallest things that you can do visually, but really, that's one of the biggest things that you can do mentally. So, we can all make a difference individually, but when we work together, what we can accomplish, it's endless. So, what are you waiting for? Go out there, show the world who you really are and what you are truly made of. My name is Natalia, and I stand against racial injustice. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Natalia, for your very important message. And when you said even the smallest acts can make a big difference, your speech just made a big difference. So good job. Thank you. So next, we have a representative, a scholar, I should say, from Price Elementary School. She is a 6th grader, and her name is Charlene. So let's welcome Charlene. And Charlene has a slideshow that she'll be referring to.
Imagine you walk in your room, and it's cluttered, and you can barely walk in it. Well, that's how animals feel when there's trash in their homes. Hi, my name is Charlene, and today I'm going to talk about why you should not litter anywhere. Fact, did you know that 80% of litter is plastic? Yep, that's right. Plastic is really dangerous to animals. Why? Because animals starve of hunger. When they eat plastic, some of that plastic they eat can digest, and if it doesn't, the animal starves to death. Imagine you're a whale and casually swimming, and you're really hungry for a delicious jellyfish. And you happen to see one, which is actually a plastic bag. Oh no. Yep, that is really common. And afterwards, the whale has a 50% chance to die. That's why plastic bags are really dangerous to animals. These are some images of animals hurt by litter. This is a bird that died after eating too much litter, and other birds like the black vulture eats it, and it never ends. This is a seal that unfortunately got stuck in a fishing net. And unfortunately, the seal only has a few hours or even minutes before it dies. This is a whale that died after eating too much litter. As you can see, the seagulls are eating it afterwards. Another plastic that humans litter are the plastic rings. What are plastic rings, you may ask? Well, plastic rings are these types of holders for sodas, or more commonly, Gatorades. What are the effects? Well, imagine you're a small tiny turtle and you're casually walking, and you encounter a 6-pack of plastic rings. Oh no, you are stuck, can't get out. Years have passed and you still have the plastic rings around you. Well, that can affect the digestion of the organs and can cause death. These are some images of animals getting stuck on plastic rings. This is a poor tiny little turtle that got stuck in a pack of plastic rings when it was small. This is a poor duck that also got stuck in a plastic rings when it was smaller. This is the same turtle you saw in the first picture a few years later, and it is still stuck. What are some solutions I can do, you may ask? Well, first, you can make a poster that says, "Please don't litter. Animals are dying faster and faster." Second, you can show others how to keep clean. Third, you can observe if you can try to see some trash getting pulled by the currents and try to catch it before it goes too far. At last, you can try to put trash cans wherever they need to be placed. And also, don't just go to the beach to play. Go to the beach to clean. So please, the next time that you litter or see litter, pick it up and save an animal today. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. I liked that your speech not only told us about the problem, but that you also offered us solutions of how we could fix the problem. Very nice. Thank you. And next, we have a student from Horace Mann, and he is a 5th grader, and his name is Anthony, and he's going to be delivering his speech in Spanish. So welcome, Anthony.
Hola, mi nombre. Ustedes se preguntarán, ¿qué es esto? Esto es parte de mi país. Es Guatemala. Es arte. Hay más cosas, como están las estatuas, las ruinas de Tikal. Hola, mi nombre es Anthony y soy de 5º grado de la escuela Anaheim Elementary School. En Guatemala está lleno de fauna natural. Es un país mágico y uno de los más grandes de Centroamérica. En Centroamérica hay países está como Honduras, El Salvador y otros. En Guatemala los animales son muy preciosos. En uno de esos están el quetzal y el jaguar. El quetzal es un ave, el ave nacional, que representa a los guatemaltecos en la libertad, porque un quetzal no lo pueden tener en cautiverio. Se muere el quetzal. Y entonces en la bandera de Guatemala está el quetzal. La comida de Guatemala es muy rica y variada. Están los chuchitos, tamales, también están los tacos. No son tacos como los de México, son unos tacos enrollados. También están las dobladas y más. Mi abuela, de parte de mi mamá, vende comida. Vende atoles, tacos y lo que había dicho antes. La ropa de Guatemala es muy mágica, es muy bonita. Tiene muchos accesorios variados. Hacen pulseras, collares, aretes y son muy preciosos. Los lugares turísticos de Guatemala son muy preciosos. En uno de esos están las ruinas de Tikal, donde si no saben, ahí grabaron una parte de la película de Star Wars. Y en esos países, ahí, en las ruinas de Tikal, eran donde habitaban los mayas. Y es lo que tengo puesto, lo de arriba, es del príncipe quiché Tecunumán, que peleó en una batalla contra un español, peleó y ganó, y desde esa vez nos independizamos en Guatemala. Y si me dejaran leer un poema que me lo sé de memoria, no sé si puedo leerlo. Well, I can read the poem. Y comienza así. Siembra marimba tu canto, melodías de cristal, y tiembla la cordillera cuando vibra tu madera de sonoro instrumental. Marimba, me han dicho que te labraron en lejanos astilleros, que extrañas manos tallaron tus teclas en los maderos de Honduras o Yucatán. Pero no, eso es mentira. Tú no eres hija del Empira ni Gloria de Yucatán. Tú naciste en esta tierra. Tu abolengo es de Bengala, maderas de Guatemala que sembró Tecunumán. Gracias.
So Anthony, I speak some Spanish, and from what I gathered, you painted a beautiful portrait of Guatemala. That was amazing, and your delivery was very nice. Good job. Okay, so our Scholar Talks continues. Next, we have a representative from Edison Elementary School. He is a 6th grader. Let's welcome Brian.
All right. Hello. I'm here to talk about something big. It's not racism. It's not nuclear war. It's about something I'm very passionate about. It's about musicals and Broadway musicals. Hello, my name is Brian Quinn, and I'm representing Edison. You might be wondering to yourself right now, why is this guy making a whole presentation about Broadway musicals? And I say, well, it's because it's something that has been in my life. Music, musicals, Broadway musicals, whatever. Music has been in my life since I was like 5. You guys might be wondering as well, what's a Broadway musical? Broadway musicals are stories or plots driven by music and musical elements. Now you might be wondering to yourself, what's a Broadway musical? Broadway musicals are musicals performed live, in person, in front of a stage of like 500 plus people. I love both of these so much because it's taught me to love music as well. You might be wondering, like, how did this come to my life? When I was watching TV, when I was a lot younger, I was scrolling through channels trying to find something to watch, and then I heard music. This came into my life and grew me to who I am today, a man who loves music and a man who loves acting or performing. I'll be giving an example of a musical, so I can explain how this works. The musical I'll be using as an example is Hamilton. It's very well known. It's very famous, basically. I love to talk about musicals and other things to my friends. I love chit-chatting about like what happened this week and stuff like that, including musicals. So I didn't know how famous musicals were. Hamilton, with a score of 98 by critics and an 89 by audiences, is very high, incredibly. Even being Encanto, it was even called intoxicating, invigorating, and even exciting. And that premiered 5 to 6 years ago. A musical that has been outdated is still being talked about today. I want to talk about what happened, why I love musicals. Musicals have been like everything, basically. I want to talk about the man who made Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda. You can like try to picture him here. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a man that has created music for Moana and other Disney production. Who here is like Moana? Yeah, let's go. Moana has great music, and so you can tell that the music put into Hamilton had been also carried through because of Moana. Musicals are very beautiful things, in my opinion. They're full of music. They're even good with emotions. They've made me happy. They've made me sad. I want to talk about Hamilton a little bit more. Hamilton has some tones of music, some being really sad, some being really happy, and it's all in a mix of R&B and rap. I think that you should watch a musical. If you never have, you probably have, but if you've never watched a musical, do so now. Watch it live, watch it on Disney Plus, watch it anywhere you can find. I think, well, I wasn't able to go because of COVID. COVID has ruined my chances to see a musical, basically. I'm probably planning to go to one. I'm here to talk about why musicals and why they're so great, that's why. Lin-Manuel Miranda has made such great performances. He was even in Mary Poppins. This has inspired me to be who I am. This has been my speech. Thank you.
Brian, very nice. And I'm just wondering if maybe you have a future in musical theater yourself or in Broadway. It's a plan? I think you should go for it. Good job. Yeah. Why don't we give all of our presenters a big round of applause right now? Good job, everybody. Yes. And I also want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has supported our students with ScholarTALKS, from teachers to administrators and support staff, and parents, right? Parents too. I know that you've helped your children. It really is a team effort. And I also want to applaud our students today and tell you that I'm very proud of you and that it does take a lot of courage to get up on stage and speak in front of not only your peers, but in front of cameras as well. So you did an excellent job today. And we have one more day tomorrow of ScholarTALKS, same time, same place, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Bye-bye. And if everyone here would please stick around.